Hello. Today is Thursday, November 11th, 2021. My name is Daniel Mullany, and behind the camera we have Diego Juarez. Today we're going to be viewing a fully remanufactured semi-tool spin wrench dryer. This system is a 8-inch system, an F model, and it has been upgraded with our touchscreen controller. So what I'm going to go ahead and do first is review the tool. Our customers, this system was actually sold through a reseller, and the final numbers of our PO are 997S. Okay, so this SRD is configured to run both 8-inch and 6-inch. Running 8-inch would be your normal 8-inch cassette, like you would see here. Okay, so that's just a normal 8-inch rotor and cassette, but we can also run 6-inch using what we have here called an insert. So the insert's basically an adapter to run 6-inch. So the insert you need to slide in directly straight. Okay, slides in just like that. We take the 6-inch cassette and boom, now we're running 6-inch. So this is a great product for quickly adapting between substrate sizes. So for this video, we'll go ahead and demonstrate the insert and 6-inch. Okay. Okay. Great, so it's taken off as normal. Everything's draining out great. Looks like a normal run here. So I'll note right here we have our system model number of a 4300-F, and the system serial number is SRD-01396. Okay, so everything looks good there. There's not really much to see as it runs, but what I can do is I can describe the process that's running. So first we have a 500 RPM rinse, where we're going to be basically rinsing the cassette and substrates off. This is mostly a quality rinse as your like a safety rinse, because your cassette and substrates will come in already pre-rinsed from your wet bench step. But we rinse again in the system to make sure no trace chemicals get splattered into the bowl, leach onto the surface, and cause contamination issues moving forward. After we rinse, we're going to move into a purge step, which we already went through because it's a short 10-second purge step. In that step, we're going to start ramping up, and we're going to send nitrogen through the DI manifolds. That's going to essentially purge out any residual DI water that might be sitting in the manifolds, and ensures that that water that could build up there doesn't drip onto the cassette and substrates during the dry cycles. So after you complete purge, we now sit in dry 1. Dry 1 is a high RPM dry step. The first step should be high RPM because you want to sling the majority of water off of the cassette and substrates. The goal is to turn on the heaters and sling the majority of water off so you don't have very large droplets sitting on the cassette and substrates. After we finish with dry 1, which has about 25 more seconds here, we're going to step down into dry 2, our last step, which is a longer time, lower RPM dry process. Instead of running at 1800 RPM, we're going to step down to about 500 or 600, however the recipe's designed. And we're going to stay there for about 5 more minutes. At this lower step, we've already slinged the majority of the water off. Slung, I guess. And now the heating elements, the hot nitrogen and the heater blankets, are going to finish the drying of the substrates. This gives you the best results in terms of a nice, uniform, clean dry with minimal particles added to the substrate surface. Okay, so now we're dropping down into dry 2, 285 seconds. So SRDs also have a few options available for them. Option number 1 would be an anti-static unit, which this system has. The static eliminator is used to reduce any static charge that might build up in the cassette during its operation. Basically, kind of like when you rub a balloon against your head and pull it away and your hair attracts to it. That's the same kind of concept that can happen with a cassette. Your cassette will be charged mildly, and the particles in the room will attract to it, which will then result on your substrate surface. And just increase particle counts. Sorry about that. I need to turn off my phone here real quick. It's kind of bugging me. There we go. So that would be option number one. Option number two that's included on this system is a DI recirculation feature. So DI recirculation is located in the back right here. It's a simple knob that you turn to turn on or off and manage the flow of it. And basically what you're going to do is determine a low flow that will occur all the time in order to prevent any water from dead-legging in the system and really kind of prevents a risk of bacterial growth. Even though DI water shouldn't really have bacteria growing in it, even if it dead legs in the fab, any sort of contamination that might be in your system can then pass on to tools and such if the recirc isn't running. Okay, everything's looking good here. So this is a remanufactured spin rinse dryer. Every system that Sitek remanufactures is going to go through the same extensive rebuild process. First, we're going to take a spin rinse dryer and we're going to break it down entirely, all the way down to the components. From there, we're going to chemically clean and electropolish all the metal parts. We're going to rebuild all the parts that can be, such as the motor and the valves and the uprighting piston. Various parts are going to be replaced automatically. Basically the consumables, such as the window, seal, filter, and all tubing. And all the components before being assembled to the SRD will be bench tested to ensure that they have been remanufactured properly. So once we have all the parts prepped, we're going to build the system up to the configuration that the customer requires. In this case, our configuration is a single stack 8-inch spin rinse dryer with a 6-inch adapter. So that's what we have right here. Once the system is built up, it'll continue to go through quality control checkpoints. In this case, it's going to be verifying that the electrical is hooked up properly, that the system is spaced properly, aligned, balanced, those sort of details. So a little different from the component quality control to the assembly quality control. But once that's all complete, then we're going to start emulating the fab environment. So we'll run the system here in our final test area, and we'll use a variety of different recipes. Whether you have a 300 RPM rinse, 1,000 RPM rinse, you want to run up to 2,500, your dry's in, a 1,600 RPM dry. We're going to test all those various configurations that might occur. We're going to demonstrate those here in our clean room to ensure that the system is ready for you. So when you install it, you can program in whatever your typical recipe is, and that will have already been tested here at Sitek, and you'll be ready to get up and running immediately. Okay, so we've got about 60 seconds left here, and everything's looking good still. So in addition to providing fully refurbished spin rinse dryers, we also offer 100% of the parts and services that you might need. So whether you need a service such as a controller repair, a motor repair, an amp repair, rotor rebalancing, or something else, we can provide all of those services for you. We also have all of the parts that you need for your spin rinse dryer. So whether you need a replacement window, seal, motor, valve, upright piston, tack sensor, any part that you could need for this spin rinse dryer, we have those parts available, and they are commonly stocked here at our headquarters in Rockland, California. Okay, so we have 10 more seconds left on this dry time. After that, it's going to start ramping down to 0. And when it hits 75 RPM, that's when the upright piston is going to fire and upright our cassette and substrate, so that way we can remove them from the process chamber. Okay. So with an F model like this, there's no active braking. It's a resistor in line with the brushed motor. So it kind of ramps down a little bit slowly right there, but very acceptable pace. But now we're down to 0. It releases. The system indicates that the process is done, and you can remove the cassette from the chamber. So now here we have a full cassette of wafers. The cassette is warm. The substrates are all perfectly dry, and these would be ready for the next step in your manufacturing process. like to thank you for taking time to view our inspection today. Again, my name is Daniel, and we filmed this video for Sitek Process Solutions. If you'd like to learn more about our products, please visit our website at www.sitekprocess.com. Sitek is spelled S-I-T-E-K. Or you can give us a call at 916-797-9000. And to reach me directly, dial extension 2201. Thank you so much again. Have a great day.